So why do we need fire?
Because over 30 years, the evolution of the internet has been driven by innovative applications that makes its management more and more complex.
Why do we need to change?
Observers cannot agree whether we should just allow things to continue as they are, or whether we need to consider starting again with radically new architecture, a clean slate.
Surely that's just a matter for technologists.
No, that's the point. The future of the internet now involves powerful cultural, economic, and societal dimensions. So we need to involve everyone in the future shape of the internet.
So where does fire fit in?
FIRE is a federation of testbeds that supports strategic, multidisciplinary research on new internet concepts by bridging the gap between visionary research and large-scale experimentation.
How does it work?
To be of real support in Europe's exploration of future internet networks and services, FIRE has to grow its integrated testbed prototypes carefully.
So the more they help developers, the more powerful the testbeds become?
Yes. FIRE is growing by attracting new users whose visions and challenges drive a gradual improvement and development of the Testbed Federation. This collaborative approach also helps its users shape it specifically to their needs and profit from being early pioneers.
How does the process begin?
It starts a long way from FIRE, where a developer has a challenge.
Great. What's this one?
This developer has built an online knowledge transfer application that helps many different types of business cluster exchange highly confidential information securely.
And the challenge?
No business will use the exchange unless it has been proven to be secure and rewarding to use. So the developer needs to test it in a safe environment. The problem is, which testbed is the right one to use?
Why can't they just build their own?
Because it costs a lot of money, and after you've used it, then what?
So what is PanLab?
Meet Tassos.
P2 is representing a number of European testbeds. What we do is we describe them, what they can do, what they can offer to the customer, put this information in a tool we call Tiggle. This Tiggle has then enough information to help the customer choose the right testbed for his application, and also enough information to connect the testbeds on demand. Tiggle helps the customer to evaluate its results and thus speeding up his research and development and experimenting with his application in a real-life environment.
How do they get to know where the testbeds are?
PanLab is useful to testbed operators as it can raise the profile of their test environment and deliver new customers. It's a win-win situation.
A good place to start if I'm a developer. A bit like a trusted advisor.
Exactly. Shall we move on? This developer wants to create a tool for testing the ergonomic design of handheld digital devices. They need to distribute video content to thousands of users and get personal feedback.
And the challenge?
The devices they are developing will be commercially sensitive. They have to test the security and distribution capabilities of their new system before they launch it.
So what is the OneLab 2 project?
Europe has many testbeds, but a lot of them are designed for specialist developers. OneLab 2 operates an open, general-purpose, large-scale experimental facility.
If it's that big, how can it offer real-life conditions?
Meet Sergey.
OneLab 2 is part of a large international effort. We do provide access to thousands of machines and handheld devices all over the world. And in addition, we provide a sophisticated monitoring infrastructure to collect the data for the users.
How big is big?
OneLab 2 is connected to one of the world's largest testbeds, accessing thousands of machines in 41 countries and connected to the internet to allow public access.
I've got a developer now. They're building a large-scale application that enables domestic users to bring together audio and video files on specific subjects made by other users, and then add into this personal schedule outputs from professional broadcasters and specialist communicators.
A kind of personal media channel.
Exactly.
So their challenge is they need to be able to test peer-to-peer user applications, but also integrate into their evaluation IP multimedia technology subsystems from the traditional communications networks. It's all about integration and the need to test quality of service, security, and privacy. Vital++ brings together the best of two very different worlds. On one side you have the users talking with each other, so-called peer-to-peer networks, and on the other you have the large professional communicators and next-generation networks.
So using this as a testbed will help the developer evaluate if the integration works and study how citizens might use the personalization before launch.
That's right. Meet Spiros.
The use of audiovisual systems is rapidly becoming a real driver behind the broadband technology. So connecting user systems and content with broadcasters and operators is one of the Vital++ testbed offerings.
I could become my own broadcaster.
It's likely that everyone will broadcast to their own communities of interest. but the technology offered here makes sure that the systems work before too many start publishing.
What's next?
This developer has invented a way in which buildings can become intelligent, allowing them to monitor and adjust to changing circumstances. However, their customers are going to be large public-funded organisations like schools and hospitals, so they have to prove it works first.
So it's just connecting up sensors, is it?
No, much more than that. They have used a new approach to setting up network wireless infrastructures in challenging environments. WiseBed can integrate middleware in the testbed and manage the development of algorithms and protocols for very large distributed systems, automatically in some cases.
So using WiseBed will speed things up?
Meet Dennis.
The Federation of 9 European testbeds allows researchers to implement new algorithms and to bypass the need for the installation of their own local testbeds. And we provide, as the WiseBed project, the expertise and evaluation to help them achieve their goals.
Hospitals and schools managing their own environments. Great. Next?
This developer believes that they have created a unique form of encryption security for online transactions.
That's what they all say.
This small team need a replica of the whole internet in which their concept can be tested. In other words, they want to set it up safely and then try and break it or at least disrupt it. They can't do this on the general internet, so they need their own private version that acts exactly the same to try it out.
So I can see that Federica is a closed experimental facility, but can you get into it by just using the internet?
Yes. Once through the security into your own testbed area, you can work inside a huge but realistic environment, based on gigabit Ethernet circuits connecting transmission equipment and computing points of presence that hold programmable routing, and switching equipment that are capable of virtualization.
Virtualization?
The whole environment creates virtual resources in slices. Users see and fully control all the virtual components in their slice as if they were physical. More than one slice can be active at the same time without interference. Users are facilitated to have technical discussions between them.
Amazing. Hiring your own private internet to explore the future.
That's what the FIRE projects are all about.
I've got my own challenge.
Go on.
Suppose that I have invented a completely revolutionary network and service infrastructure that will entirely replace the current one. Can I use all these testbeds connected up to test it?
Well, that's something the FIRE people are working on, incorporating high-level federation frameworks.
But surely the real internet is now too complex. It's not only about networks. For example, a big area of development is in the services area. If FIRE is to be genuinely a one-stop shop for developers, surely it has to offer experimental facilities across all perspectives.
You're right. The internet is a vast three-dimensional mix of networks and services, and FIRE is exploring how new ideas can work not just horizontally within system development on one level like the network, but also vertically across different layers, from connectivity to all types of open services platforms, like for content delivery and for enterprise management. It wants to see how one layer of the internet affects other layers within the whole system.
Simple then. All I have to do is write an email or pick up the phone to FIRE.
Yes, they are always happy to answer questions, no matter how small. However, there is just one thing they are looking for that perhaps you haven't got yet.
What's that?
A visionary idea?
Oh yeah, I'm working on that.